As we saw in the last part, the Darkness Holy Dragon and Death God Douluo teamed up and launched an attack on Juji and her legion. But Juji is no pushover, and she had traps set up all through the mountain valley that caught Yeshui off guard. But since Yeshui is a demigod, she destroys all those soul formation traps with her Death God Pagoda. And while all of this is happening, Yu Hao and Wutong are watching from a distance. And now, at the start of this episode, we see the Darkness Holy Dragon and Death God Douluo combine their full power to withstand every single linked attack the Sun Moon Empire throws at them. And during this, just two people nearly destroy the strongest army on the entire continent. And then we see that when the entire fight is over and both of them vanish from the scene, Yu Hao and Tang Wutong hiding in the bushes open their eyes and ask each other if that were us. How long do you think we would have lasted? To which Yu Hao says, with a bitter smile, maybe we could take one hit, and only if we had the goddess of light with us. Right then, we hear a deep voice ask, "Does your teacher know you're speaking so highly of me?" And the moment those words land, Yu Hao and Wutong are completely caught off guard and instantly teleport 100 meters away because they realize even their imitation hiding ability didn't work on these two. And then we see Long Xiaoyao and Yeshui appear right in front of them, and Long Xiaoyao smiles and says, "You've really come a long way, and we didn't find you through spiritual power, but through pure instinct. Because when you become an ultimate Douluo, you become a part of this world itself." Then we see Yu Hao bow very humbly and say, "Greetings, Dragon, Emperor, and Death God." But right then, Yeshui's heavy voice booms out, "Stop," and her pressure is so suffocating that anyone ordinary would be crushed under it. But right at this moment, we see Yu Hao spread his ultimate ice aura to meet it head on, and the surprising part is that he gets pushed back a little but doesn't break completely, which genuinely shocks even Yeshui herself. After which we see Yeshui angrily reactivate her Death God Pagoda and point it straight at Yu Hao. And right then Long Xiaoyao says in a serious voice, "Shui, stop." And we see Yeshui fire back in anger, asking, "Are you actually protecting him?" To which Long Xiaoyao calmly says, "We're not in the best shape right now. Why don't we talk to this kid for a moment?" And right then Long Xiaoyao suddenly starts coughing, which instantly turns all of Yeshui's anger into concern, as she gently rubs his back and asks, "Xiaoyao, are you alright?" After which we see Yeshui calm herself down and say, "All right, Xiaoyao, I'll listen to you, and I won't hurt these two kids." And then Long Xiaoyao asks Yu Hao, "Have you already formed your second soul core?" To which Yu Hao quietly nods, and right then we see Long Xiaoyao take a deep breath and say that in thousands of years, you are the only human who has formed a second soul core before even becoming an ultimate Douluo, and I see something in you that gives me hope. After which Yu Hao tells him that Wutong has done the same thing, and hearing this, Long Xiaoyao smiles with genuine surprise and joy, saying, "Very good. Both of you are truly worthy students of Muwen." After which we see Long Xiaoyao hand Yu Hao a black stone, saying, "When you reach rank 98, come find me in Radiant City, and your teacher has left something for both of you." And then we see Yeshui give a warning, saying, "This is the second time, and I will not let you off a third time, and next time we meet, I will kill you for certain." And after saying this, both of them disappear, and Yu Hao and Wutong look at each other and let out a long breath of relief. Then we see that after Long Xiaoyao leaves, Tang Wutong jokes and says, "Come on, let's cultivate a little. Do you think we came here to rest?" And after which, we see both of them sit down together with their hands joined in cultivation, and their martial soul fusion activates once again, connecting their golden sun and blue moon. And right then, we see so much light and noise pour out from this process that both of them have to panic and run because they're way too close to the Sun Moon Empire army. After which, we see both of them go deep into a dense forest, find a cave, and start cultivating again there. And this time they realize that when they do this technique while standing still, their soul power recovers extremely fast and even starts growing. And what makes this special is that this is the biggest advantage of their yin-yang complement soul cores, which they can't use in battle but can use during rest to grow their power at an incredible rate. Right then, we see the scene shift to the Sun Moon Empire's commander tent, where Juji is sitting alone in thought. And suddenly a soldier comes running in to report saying, "Marshal, our reinforcement army was wiped out on the way." And along with that, 1,000 soul engineers were killed and all our resources were looted as well. And hearing this, Juji is genuinely stunned, but then she immediately understands that this was all Yu Hao's doing. And what you should know here is that Yu Hao and Wutong had used their spectral demiplane to wipe out that entire reinforcement army specifically to make the enmity between the Sun Moon Empire and Holy Ghost Church grow even deeper. Then we see Juji take full advantage of this moment by calling all her commanders together and cutting her own finger to write a letter in blood, and with tears says, "I've let all of you down. The legion sent to help our army was killed on the way, and bone dragon markings were found at the scene. And the moment this lands, the entire camp fills with rage because everyone remembers that Zhongliwu himself had arrived riding a bone dragon, and after which we see every single commander sign that letter with their own blood and decide that they'll take the entire army back toward the Empire to finish the Holy Ghost Church once and for all. Right then, we see Yu Hao watching all of this from above and smiling because his plan is going exactly the way he intended, and he quietly starts flying behind the army alongside Tang Wutong, and then we see both of them quietly slip inside Juji's decorated sedan chair, where Juji was already expecting them, and says, "I knew you'd come here." And then Yu Hao asks directly, "Is the promise you made still standing, and do you really want to kill Zhu Tianren?" After which we see Juji reveal a massive secret and say, "My son is not Zhu Tianren's. I was kept with someone else, and that person was made to die by me. And if I didn't do that, when my son turns 6 and his martial soul awakens, everything will be exposed." And hearing this, Yu Hao is genuinely stunned. And right then, Tang Wutong also comes inside, hiding her annoyance, and takes a dig at Juji, saying, "Whatever the case may be, you're a married woman, so at least maintain a little dignity." Then we see Juji give them information about the palace's entire security and lay out a plan, saying, "When we reach the capital, I'll take some of my troops and go apologize before Zhu Tianren. And that's when you'll get your window to finish him off." And right then, we see her reveal another clever move, saying, "I've already pinned all the blame on the Holy Ghost Church. And now when Zhu Tianren goes after them in anger, Radiant City will be at its most chaotic, and that will be your real moment." And hearing this, Tang Wutong quietly murmurs, "This is a really dangerous move." To which Juji sarcastically shoots back, "Then tell me if you have a better plan." After which, we see Juji decide to hide Yu Hao inside her Fire Phoenix Soul Engineer Legion, disguised as a bodyguard. And she puts a Lady Soul Engineer's human-shaped soul tool on him, which Tang Wutong cannot hold back her laughter seeing. And right then, we see the scene shift directly to the palace in Radiant City, where Zhu Tianren is slamming all the reports in front of him onto the table in rage, because he's convinced the Holy Ghost Church has truly turned against his army. Then we see Zhu Tianren say furiously, "How did the Holy Ghost Church ever get this bold?" And then he gives his secret messenger the order to gather information about the Holy Ghost Church. And right then, we see him think to himself that Long Xiaoyao and Ye Shuyi are both very old and could die anytime. So all he has to do is wait a few years, and then he'll comfortably wipe out the entire Holy Ghost Church. After which, the scene shifts to Shrek City, where Shu Sanshi has returned to the Tang sect, and the moment he arrives, he meets his friend Bebe and tells him the entire story of how Yu Hao and Wutong saved all of them from death. And then we see Bebe happily share that he himself has also successfully become a titled Douluo, and Tangya has become a titled Douluo too, which means the Tang sect's strength has grown even further. And after this, our scene changes, and we see the Sun Moon Empire army slowly advancing toward its own border. But every single commander's mood is foul because they're all furious at the Holy Ghost Church. And right then, we see Juji keep stealing glances from her sedan chair at Yu Hao, who is wearing a female soul engineer's human-shaped soul tool, and she can't help smiling inside every time she looks at him. And after which, we see Juji suddenly call Yu Hao over and say, "I'm hungry, and I want your family's grilled fish recipe," to which Yu Hao firmly refuses. Right at that moment, we see Tang Wutong suddenly say, "Go grill some fish for her, but I want my share too." And then we see everyone stop by a riverside, and Yu Hao reluctantly catches some fish and starts grilling them. And when Juji gets the first fish, she tastes it and is genuinely amazed. And the second fish, Tang Wutong eats completely at ease. And right then, we see Juji ask in surprise, "Doesn't it bother you that he's grilling fish for me?" To which Tang Wutong just smiles and keeps eating her fish without saying a word. After which, we see Tang Wutong hand Juji a piece of her own fish and say, "If you love him that much, then taste what he gave me." And right at that moment, we see Juji take a bite and is left completely stunned because the taste is entirely different, as if some very specific feeling has been mixed into it. And then she angrily asks, "What did you put in your fish?" To which Yu Hao calmly says, "I didn't change a single thing about how I cooked it." And right then, we see Tang Wutong explain, saying, "The feelings he had for us were different, which is why the taste is different too. And until I choose to share my fish with you, you will never get to taste that love." After which, we see Tang Wutong get up and hug Yu Hao and say the fish was so delicious and I love you. To which Yu Hao also says I love you too. And watching this entire moment, tears silently run down Juji's face because she realizes that even if she conquers the whole continent, she can never have a place in Yu Hao's heart. And watching this whole scene play out, she quietly gets up and walks away. Then we see that just as Yu Hao and Wutong are about to kiss, Juji comes storming back and starts shouting, and she yells, "Yuhao, do you know how much I—" But before she can finish, we see a golden light shoot out from the golden trident on Tang Wutong's forehead and land directly on Juji's body, making her shake violently, and she leaves her sentence unfinished. And what you need to know is that this is actually Tang San's warning that suddenly starts echoing inside Juji's mind, and that voice says directly that if you don't keep this to yourself, I will end you and your child both. And this divine voice hits Juji so hard with fear that she immediately composes herself and says, "I'm fine, I just need a little rest." After which we see the entire army advance quickly and reach Radiant City within a single day, where Juji herself decides she won't fly in, but will walk into the city on foot to show respect to Zhu Tianren. And right then we see Zhu Tianren himself come out with his ministers and generals to welcome her, and the moment Juji kneels before him, she says tearfully, "Your Majesty," to which Zhu Tianren hugs her and says, "Don't cry, my dear Empress, and everything will be fine now." Then we see Juji, in a very dramatic fashion, try to return her commander's seal, saying, "I'm just a woman. I don't have the strength to handle such a great responsibility." To which Zhu Tianren refuses to take the seal back and says, "There is no one better suited to be marshal than you, and I want you to stay in this role." And after which, we see Juji spend 3 days away from the palace, spending time only with her son, little Yunhan, which makes Zhu Tianren trust her even more. And after this, our scene shifts to the Holy Ghost Church's headquarters, where Zhong Liwu tells his mother, "Ye Shu Yi mother, Zhu Tianren didn't say a single word about protecting us, and it seems like he's decided to abandon us." To which Ye Shu Yi calmly asks, "Has all our stuff been shifted out?" And then she decides that she'll take all her resources and weaker disciples to hide them in the Heavenly Soul Empire's territory, and go meet Zhu Tianren herself to find out what his real intentions are. After which we see that after Ye Shu Yi leaves, a deep voice from the darkness asks, "Is all of this really worth it?" And right at this moment, Long Xiaoyao appears, and Ye Shu Yi asks him furiously, "Did you ever truly try to help me?" To which Long Xiaoyao says in a pained voice, "Shu Yi, just stop. And no matter where you hide, Zhu Tianren will never let you go." And after this, Ye Shui says something that carries enormous weight. She says, "Muen asked me the same question, and will you answer it in his place?" Then we see that the moment this lands, Long Xiaoyao's entire body starts trembling, and after which Ye Shuyi softens and says, "Forgive me, Xiaoyao, I know you've stood by me for 100 years. I forgave you a very long time ago, but I was afraid that if I said it, you would leave me." And right at this moment, we see Long Xiaoyao's eyes fill with tears as he pulls her close and says, "I will stay with you because I love you, and nobody in this world can love you more than I do." Right then, we see that even after 3 days pass, there's no word from Juji. So Yu Hao and Tang Wutong put on regular clothes and makeup and head out to walk around the streets of Radiant City. And then we see that the moment they approach the palace walls, Yu Hao suddenly senses danger and immediately grabs Tang Wutong's hand and pulls back. And right then we see both of them go sit inside a barbecue restaurant and start scanning the palace walls from a safe distance through their spiritual detection. Then we see Yu Hao suddenly spot 4 faint lights at the 4 corners of the palace. And the moment he sees them, he recognizes them as high-energy compression array soul tools that were previously used to protect all of Radiant City. And the fact that soul tools this powerful are now placed directly inside the palace is a massive indicator of just how far the Sun Moon Empire has advanced. And right at that moment, Yu Hao is stunned to see none other than Ye Shuyi herself walking into the palace with complete after which we see a black shadow suddenly walk into the restaurant and order beef, and Yu Hao and Wutong are left completely stunned because this is none other than Long Xiaoyao himself. And right then, we see Long Xiaoyao smile and sit down with them saying, "I didn't think we'd be running into each other this quickly again." And then when Yu Hao tells him about those 4 mysterious lights at the palace, Long Xiaoyao's expression turns serious, and he says the Sun Moon Empire's strength has gone far beyond anything we thought possible. Then we see that while eating, Long Xiaoyao suddenly decides to reveal a very big secret and begins sharing his full story. He tells them how he and his teacher Mu En and Ye Shuyi all used to travel together when they were young, and how both of them fell in love with the same person, and how they agreed that whoever Ye Shuyi chose the other would accept it. And in the end, Ye Shuyi chose Mu En, which completely broke Long Xiaoyao's heart. After which, Long Xiaoyao wandered across the Douluo continent for an entire year before going back to meet both of them, where he had a match with Muen and lost. And that night, after drinking, he went to Ye Shuyi's room and discovered a massive secret that he was never able to tell anyone until this day. And right then we see Long Xiaoyao say with deep emotion that I owe Shuyi a debt that can never be repaid, and that's why I can never stop her no matter what she does. Then we see Long Xiaoyao leave without finishing his story, and Yu Hao and Wutong are left deeply emotional. And right then we see Tang Wutong hug Yuhao while crying and say teacher was so unlucky. Now I understand why he fought such a massive battle against the body sect. And after which our scene shifts directly inside the palace where Ye Shuyi is sitting very calmly in front of Ju Tianren sipping tea. Right at that moment we see Ye Shuyi suddenly say, Your Majesty, may I ask for just one person? And when Ju Tianren asks who, she points directly at Juji and says, I just want the Empress. And hearing this, Ju Tianren's face hardens, but he flatly refuses. And then we see Ye Shuyi say in a tired voice, I am so exhausted, and I don't want revenge from anyone. I just want to spend the rest of my life in peace, and the Holy Ghost Church will leave on its own. Then we see Ju Tianren himself genuinely surprised by this completely changed attitude from Ye Shuyi. And the moment she walks out, Juji asks in a suspicious tone, Do you actually think she means what she said? To which Ju Tianren says with a cold smile, the weaker she pretends to be, the more dangerous she is. Which is why we need to push our plans forward even faster. And right then we see Ye Shuyi walking out of the palace, quietly saying to herself inside, Teacher, I've listened to you, and from now on I will live only for myself and Xiaoyao. And as she says this, a strange sense of peace and lightness appears on her face. So now the question is whether Ju Tianren and Juji's move will completely finish off the Holy Ghost Church, and whether Ye Shuyi's newfound peaceful attitude is genuinely real, or whether there's an even bigger secret hiding behind it. Stay with us in the next episode to find out. And if you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.